valuing ecosystem services. And we've heard just two very good presentations from very different perspectives which are related to that issue. But in this session, we're going to stand back a little bit from this, because this is a tricky business. Valuing ecosystem services involves ethics, ecosystems, economics, and politics. It involves communities, communities of wealth creators, people who depend on natural capital and its ecosystem services that provide and underpin climate, food, water, and health security for all of us, from a local scale to a global scale. It involves communities of the poor, many of whom, in a sense, own this natural capital and provide these services to all of us. And the question is, how should we value the flow of benefits between these two parties? This is not easy to answer, otherwise we would have figured it out a long time ago. And I thought, just to illustrate some of the interesting aspects to this question, we'd do a little research. We're in Oxford, after all, a great university, so let's just do a little piece of research. And I'm sorry not everybody's in the room, but let's just try this. How many of you in this room have ever smoked a cigarette? Put your hands up. Go on, go on, go on. Yeah, nearly everybody. Okay, how many are still smoking today? Cigars don't count for the moment. Okay, cigars too. How many are still smoking today? Ah. Do you feel a bit embarrassed about admitting to that? Only two. You know, it's about behavior change, isn't it? It's about attitudes. And just think about it. How did we get people to stop smoking, at least in my country? Well, first of all, you say smoking is really expensive. Did anybody stop smoking because it was too expensive? It would cost about $10 a packet for cigarettes in this country. People still smoke. So next you say, the health department comes in and says, okay, if you smoke, you're going to die. We're going to put lots of nice, horrible pictures on there of livers and lungs looking absolutely disgusting. You know what? That makes people want to smoke more. They get nervous. You go outside the hospitals where everybody's dying of cancer for smoking. Everybody's smoking like this before they go in and meet the doctor. So next, what do they say? Do you know? Smoking is going to make you impotent. Now you've got my attention. But you know, what really has worked is kind of making it uncool to smoke. It's an attitude in here. It's not just about money. It's not just even about science, because it's interesting. You can provide all the science you like. It's going to kill you. But people will still smoke because they make decisions around different kinds of things. And it's like that with natural capital and politics. We can provide all the science we want, and it's obvious what is happening. It's obvious about climate change that we should change. It's obvious that we're crazily destroying natural capital. But we carry on. And we need to look at what is the science information that we produce, and are we actually asking the right kinds of questions? And what is the ethics of all this? And how do we create attitude change, not only in companies, but in politicians, in the public, and the finances that are moving around the world? Because it is about money on a gigantic scale. And we're going to explore two aspects of that in this next session. We have two great speakers who are going to give us some insight into this. On the one hand, on an ethical sense and a historical sense. Professor Patrick Blondin, who is joining us here from Paris, was elected to be Professor of Ecology at the Paris Museum of Natural History in 1988. He works on the history of nature and biodiversity. Patrick is over there on the far left of your stage. He works on the history of nature and biodiversity and has received numerous awards for his outstanding work, including an award as officer of the National Légion d'honneur of France. Presently, he is co-chair of the IUCN International Union for the Conservation of Nature's Biosphere Ethics Initiative. Patrick will be exploring the issue of how we have valued biodiversity in ecosystems over the last century and a half or so. So please welcome Patrick.